Hello everyone. This is White Raven. We have plenty of decks here today. I'm not sure whether we're gonna use all of them, but if we need to, they are ready. And the topic of today's reading is dysfunctional, codependent, uh, personal or love relationships, partnership, and what is your part in it? What have you added into it for it to become codependent and dysfunctional? What is the responsibility that is yours and yours to take? Okay, so let's begin with the decks that we have, which will be in the description of the video. Thelema Tarot. We have then Murder of Crows Tarot. We have Santa Muerte Tarot, Book of the Dead. We have the lovely Deviant Moon Tarot, Borderless Edition. We have the Dark Wood Tarot by Sasha Graham and Abigail Larson. And we have the full Shelob's Oracle if we need. Okay, let's begin by arriving here and now, uncrossing your legs, uncrossing your arms. Bring your energy back from all the places into here and now. Grounding into your body, because the energy knows no limitations and no boundaries, and whatever your mind is, that's where you are. So learning to occupy your body and grounding into your body. Noticing our breath, how shallow, how deep it is. And let's begin. We will begin with a identification significator of what the situation is, what is the relationship, and where it is right now, in which state, what is happening. So if you recognize the relationship, then this is your reading. If what I'm saying absolutely doesn't make any sense to you at all, please know that this is not a reading for you, and there will be more. There is no need to leave negative comments. We can just continue moving on. Okay, so let's begin. Listening carefully to my words. This is a collective reading. Some things will resonate while others won't, and that's okay. So I'm currently not offering private consultations, but once that will change, an update will be in my YouTube channel's description. And so your current relationships with your partner and the codependency that is not allowing it to grow. At which stage and where you are stuck in these relationships. And it's normal, because we all learn and grow, and we have to tear the walls sometimes and rebuild the relationships in order for our new selves to be able to fit in there, because sometimes we keep relating to one another as if we were the same people as 10 years ago, but that's no longer the case. And it's the hardest thing to redesign, recreate the relationships with your love partners, with your husbands and wives, because we're so used to one another. So your current relationships, where you are in your relationships, and how is the codependency, how is it showing up, how is it dysfunctional. You can't run from yourself, no matter whether you are alone or with another person. You will still be able to feel those unpleasant feelings, like this rotting fish here. So basically you cannot hide from your issues behind your children, behind the role of a mother. You have to go back to your heart and feel what has to be felt. So when the relationships become too mechanic, too superficial, too much about the daily stuff, like what are we gonna eat, where are we gonna go, and there is no passion in there. We have to then go back inside and find that part of ourselves that that is avoiding something and has been avoiding for a long time, to feel something. And we have to look at our relationships as a canvas, as a project that actually constantly need maintenance, like the house does, like a car does. It needs, the walls need to be broken down, torn apart, and rebuilt, reconstructed. So the relationship has become outdated. It's needed emotional waters. It's lacking emotional waters. Possibly you have become a bit too focused on the material side of the relationships. Not only money, of course. Maybe there were some financial issues, and so everybody was so focused on making more money that both of you have forgotten about the emotional side of the relationships, which is very important. Okay. What else? What else do we need to know about your relationships right now, and how has it become dysfunctional? What is no longer working? Which walls needs tearing and breaking down in order to be rebuilt? There is a distance between you. There is no longer passion for someone, no sex. The sexual life has died out. Maybe he approaches you, but you don't let him in physically, obviously, emotionally, and because it's normal when we lose that sexual connection quite easily, because for many reasons. Nobody wants to sleep with the person that you're angry at. Nobody wants to sleep with the person that made you feel defensive. Nobody wants to sleep with the person that's using you as, let's say, credit card, because men also tend to get offended. Maybe he feels like you are just there for him to provide for you and you give him nothing back. So when that emotional sexual connection is broken, there is a whole world between us. It feels like whole world between us. Maybe we already defeated. What was that Adele's song? So this whole world between you and the lack of sexual connection is, and then there is defensiveness. So why are you feeling, who is feeling defensive and why? He's feeling defensive. Okay, why is he feeling defensive? Because of you, because you're judging him harshly, because he's a disappointment to you, because it feels like you've been waiting, or he's been waiting and he's been judged harshly by you, and some mean words have been said, and he's literally lost patience. He's no longer interested in trying and participating in these relationships. He's no longer interested in making attempts to maybe go after you, because when you have been multiple times have been judged and ridiculed and called names, you no longer have the energy or patience or desire to sexually connect or be romantic or go after someone. You're still the woman in his life, and it's why it hurts even more to be judged so harshly by the person that you consider to be the empress, the woman in his life. Okay. A few more words about this relationship and how is it dysfunctional and why. You have a family together, you're married, have one child, and you've been through a lot lately. Maybe more than one child, but there are children. You've been through a lot lately together, and it feels like you had to start anew, as if you yes, you had to. There was a duality. Maybe you had to move or travel, and you had to start anew, almost like you had to build a new home, or maybe you moved countries, or maybe the dynamics, something that maybe someone has lost a job, but you've been through a lot together, and that now it feels like you have to rebuild it again. And there is emotional escapism. Everybody is so tired from everything that has happened, from everything they had to go through, that now growing and not only a new business, or maybe arriving in a new country, or coming back from being in another country and having to grow roots, or changing the job, and there is so many changes, so much has happened, and at the moment it feels like it's okay, those changes were successful, but because there were so many, you're tired and none of you want to deal with the emotional stuff. What were the changes that happened that exhausted you both so much? What was this big change that you went through as a family that caused this dysfunctional, codependent relationship to become even more dysfunctional? Nothing is as it seems. I didn't get what I wanted. I was a lie. Heartbreak. The thing that was supposed to bring you happiness turned out to be a lie. And the expectation that it will bring happiness were not true. It was like a genie wish. You made a decision to do something together, and it ended up in a conflict. What is the thing? Some change that left everybody hanging up in the air. Could have been change of location. For someone's thinking the marriage itself was not what it was supposed to be, but you both went through periods of anxiety and a lot of stress where you were up in there. Maybe you lost the job, maybe he's lost a job, maybe you had to move countries. It was a big change that caused all these emotions to be stirred up, and work for someone was long distance traveling, moving, new projects, new locations, new. So big shift, big change that you just went through, and it stirred a lot of things, and no one at the moment feels like dealing with the relationships themselves. Okay, all right, so let's ask a question then about you. How are you participating in this and creating more dysfunctionality in these relationships? What are your codependent traits, unhealthy traits within you that you are projecting onto these relationships? How are you not helping these relationships to be less codependent, less dysfunctional? What is a chunk of your responsibility? You don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. You don't know you want to be alone. You're like a cat. Sometimes I want to be alone. Sometimes I want company, or I want company while I want to be alone, and you need to understand that. You're not really a team player either, so you try to sort everything out. Sometimes I'm hot, sometimes I'm cold, sometimes I'm a hermit, sometimes I'm a lush empress that is life itself, and I'm so happy and excited. So the person that is next to you gets tired to try and figure out your moods. How are you feeling today? Are you playful and crazy today? Are you ready to go forward, or do you want to end the relationships? Are you on stand to cut his head off because he said something mean? Are you feel like you don't want to show your true identity today? Do you feel like fighting? Or are you tired of dealing with all of this? Or are you ready to work through all of this? So you're like that yo-yo, up and down, up and down. Today I want this, tomorrow I want that. So obviously that doesn't help. Okay. Why are you like that? Why are you yo-yoing around? Why are you hot and cold? Why are you come and go? Why are you I'm staying or I'm leaving? Why? Is this? Because you have father issues that you haven't worked through, because you have childhood issues that you haven't worked through, because there are things between you and your partner that you haven't worked through and that you are keeping, that you have stored inside and didn't let go and didn't release. And because also it's a part of your personality, you're very impulsive. So also a little bit emotionally immature. Maybe you're stuck in the childhood age of 7. I don't know, for everyone it's different. And that's keeping you defensive. So you want to come out and play, but your childhood wounds have not been healed, which are now reflecting in your marriage and the way you are with your partner. You want him to give to you everything, and you want to give nothing. And because before, when you gave everything, you got hurt. something possibly to do with your father and the issues that you haven't worked through, or maybe you are looking for a father figure in your partner, which is the same thing. When we don't work through our parents and don't process the issues with them, we automatically look for either a mother or a father in our relationships. So something for you to look at and deal with your past, to work through it. Growing up a little bit. This is not a pointing finger kind of reading. We are all emotionally immature. We all enter relationships codependently, hoping that you're gonna be my daddy, I'm gonna be your mommy, you're gonna give me the love that my mom never gave me. I see my mom in you, you see my dad in me, and vice versa. So we never enter relationships perfectly healed, thinking that I'm just gonna love you unconditionally because I know how to do it. No, it's also give and take. So we're always hoping to get something subconsciously without realizing. So what about your partner? How is he adding on to the dysfunctional traits and codependency of these relationships? How is he participating in this messy situation? What about your partner? What is he thinking? What is he feeling? What is he bringing onto the table? He doesn't like to deal with emotions. He likes things to be steady. He closes off and goes into he takes distance. He gives people space. And because he likes things to be stable, he doesn't like when people point a finger at him and say, you did this was unfair, you did this to me. So he emotionally escapes by giving you space to deal with whatever you want to deal with. He doesn't like to have headaches. He doesn't like to deal with issues that he gets confused. He really doesn't know what to do, so he just shuts away and he gives you space to figure it out by yourself. And he doesn't like to be judged. He doesn't like to be told where he's not wrong, where he's not right. So he emotionally escapes and then he does nothing. That's the way he manipulates things forward. And he acts as a victim, saying things like, I'm tired of this. I've put so much into this. I don't want to deal with any of this anymore. I had too much work to be able to do. He gets also very stubborn and takes this position of like, I'm not moving. I've done nothing wrong. He doesn't like change. So it's hard for him to see the way out of certain situation. It's hard for him to look inside and say, I've created this. And when you get cold and angry, when you change from this loving, motherly, emotionally available person into this cold and ready to chop you off kind of person, he just puts up his defenses and goes on with conflict, and it all turns bad, basically. He turns on his defense mode, you turn on your defense mode, and there is a lot of manipulation that is happening because you need to deal with your daddy issues, you project your daddy issues on him, and he doesn't want to be your daddy, he doesn't want to take responsibilities, he wants to emotionally escape. Why? Why does he want to emotionally escape? Why does he not like change? Why does he give space and turn his back instead of dealing with issues? Why is he like that? Why is he like that? He's afraid to lose his inner equilibrium, inner balance. A lot of duality. Because he's a king of pentacles, they like stability, they hate change. They like to know that tomorrow is going to be sunny weather. Tomorrow I'm going to go to work. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. They like their stability. They like to know where they are. And when change happens and you start storming around because you had an argument or you're not happy, he doesn't see his way out. He doesn't know what to do. He gets lost. He sees you being angry and he turns into this little child that needs to be on defense to protect his inner balance at all costs, because men don't like to be floating in the air, especially pentacles. He knows who he is. It's very scared for him to not know who he is. When he doesn't feel the love that is coming from you, he just thinks, okay, I'm hanging there, the conflict will resolve itself. The love will win. She'll stop being angry and it will all be in the past. But it's something to do with the way. Okay, a few more questions. Why does he not like losing his balance? Why does he hate change so much? And why does he go into an ostrich position of putting my head into the sand? I'm not going to deal with it. Why? What has caused him to become like that? As a child, his mother almost manipulated him into giving her what she needed. And almost like there was another... Yes. There was another woman okay. Wow. So it's like his father was a person that liked women, and there was another woman that has destroyed the family, that has took him away and ruined your husband's childhood, because this woman taken... Oh, sorry guys, I'm not realizing that you can see anything. Let me move this. So, okay. So as a child, there was another woman in his father's life, looks like, that took his father away from him and destroyed his childhood, destroyed it. It came to an end. And so his mother manipulated him into taking responsibility and giving him what she needed when the father left. When he left, and that became a heavy weight on your husband's shoulders or partner's shoulders. So he literally... King of Pentacles. He literally doesn't like responsibility. He tries to run away from it. He tries to avoid it. He thinks, if I'm just gonna sleep through this, if I'm just gonna wait out, it will all pass. This is something from his childhood that he hasn't dealt with, that he needs to deal with. Wow. So the father was womanizer. There was another woman that destroyed the family and took the father away, and that is why your husband right now doesn't like any change, any conflict, because as a child he was manipulated by his mother to take the responsibility and the heavy burden, the heavy weight of father leaving. And she needed your husband, your partner, to give her what she needed, because the father was no longer there and he felt defensive and he was not strong enough to do it. So he left. Maybe when he got older, to find happiness. And so now he doesn't want to take responsibility on, from what I understand. Okay, wow, this is a lot of detail. Now we understand why your partner doesn't like responsibility. Okay. All right. Let's ask another question. Now you're in this relationship. Does he want to work this through? Does he want this relationship to work? Does he want to make it work? It's dysfunctional right now. Nobody is obviously happy. It's not working the way it's meant to, or you think it's meant to. Everybody has their own issues that they bring to the table. Does your partner want this relationship to work? Now we know how both of you are adding to this dysfunctionality by obviously not dealing with the past, so that would be the first thing to do. But does your partner want, the willingness is the first thing, does he want to make these relationships work? Does he want to make it work? Right now he feels like it's all too much up in the air and it's quite unfair. He's been judged unfair. His heart is broken. He has his defense mode on and he just wants to go. He feels like he wants to go. He wants to be a child. He wants to be careless. He doesn't want to be thinking about any of this. He doesn't want to deal. He feels like he's been badly hurt. Too many mean words have been said. He doesn't want to deal with this. He wants to leave it all behind and go. That's what he did before, right? Too much headache. He feels stuck and trapped. Okay. Does he love you? Does he still have feelings for you? Is the love at least still there? Now, we're not freaking out from this because every single person goes through a million of feelings a day and they're allowed to feel the way they feel. And that doesn't mean that these feelings stay like that forever. Everything changes. So, does he still have feeling for you? Does he love you? He feels like you don't really love him. He feels like everything has been destroyed, the marriage is destroyed, you're still the empress for him, obviously. But you don't love him. He feels like he has to beg for your love. This conflict between you two. He wants to escape. Okay, but does he love you? God, good. He feels like you don't love him. But does he love you? Or can he only love you if you love him? Is there any love in his heart left for you? Okay. He's like a child that wants you to love him first. Because at the moment he doesn't feel any love from you, and since he doesn't feel any love from you, he just wants to go. He's like a child that's trying to be an emperor, almost like empty inside. He's feeling defensive. It's too much for him. Feels like it's all been destroyed. You don't love him. He has to beg for your love, or maybe he's done something that you will never love him again. Okay, why does he have to beg for your love? Do you not show him any love? Do you still love him? He obviously sees his mother in you. So any comments, any judgmental or less than loving comments from you make him feel like that's it, she doesn't love me. But I don't see any love here from him either. He's obviously projecting a lot of his family issues on this relationship. So do you still love him? Do you love this person? Don't know. You want him to come to you and love you. You want him to run to you, to be your king, your savior. You want him to come to you. You're just sitting there waiting for him to love you, for him to shower you with love, to show you how important you are, show the passion. Right now all there is conflict between the two of you, and you no longer know what you feel, but you also want him to come to you first and show you the love. So that is what happens when two people get into relationships without resolving their childhood issues. You want him to come to you and love you first, and he wants you to come to you and love him first, because he sees you as his mother figure unconsciously, obviously, and you see him as who? Do you see him? You see him as your partner, but you want him to be strong and put as much as you put into the relationship. You want him to put as much love as you do. You want him to bring as much on the table as you do. You want him to take some of the heavy weight, some of the heavy burden. You want him to carry some of this weight so that there is balance, because at the moment you feel like it's all you and it's driving you mad, it's driving you nuts. And obviously we don't want to be with someone that is not taking responsibility in the relationships. And he's not taking responsibility because of what we've seen earlier, how his parents' relationships turned out. Dad had another woman and left the family, and the mom wanted him to be responsible, possibly be the new husband, subconsciously, of course. Okay. Okay. Oops. Do you want, have the energy or desire to make these relationships work? Do you want to make these relationships work? Do you want to work on this dysfunctional issues and codependency? Do you want to make this work? Let's have a look. You have the energy, the determination, emotional maturity, knowledge and intuition to change the dynamics to a more balanced one. If it happens, it should come from you, obviously. You can, and you are the only person that can actually in these relationships, but right now you are in a place of don't come to me, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm annoyed at you, I don't know if whether I want to stay or go. This is over. I've put this on the pause, and I'm going away. There is distance between you. You have created the distance. Why? Why are you no longer, or currently don't feel like you want to do this? Why do you no longer want to invest your time and energy in working on these relationships? Because you have put so much resources, so much energy into this relationship. You've literally carried it all on your own, and you're tired. You don't have any strength left anymore. You've almost like pulled this entire carriage by yourself as a single horse, and he was just sitting there and doing nothing, and you actually want him to take responsibility and become the emperor. So you could, but you no longer want to. You want to be happy. You want him to come and take the responsibility and solve this conflict and cut through his limitations and come out. Okay, is he going to? Is he going to make the move and realize that now it is his turn to invest into these relationships, and realize that now that the relationships is almost like completely dysfunctional and not really a relationships anymore, although you are together, that is he realizing that this is only happening because you stopped investing your energy into maintaining it? Is he realizing it? Is it something that he understands? And is he going to make a move? No, he's pinned down to the ground. He feels like it's all over. He can't. Something is holding him down. It's basically his life lesson. It's his life lesson to actually man up and set himself free. And you are the one who's teaching him this lesson. So from what I understand, this is not your place to act now. If it's ending, it's for you to allow it to end. You're to do nothing. You've done enough. You've mothered enough. It's his turn to take the responsibility of being a head of the family and actually climbing back onto this throne and doing his part, because relationships, as we mentioned earlier, this is you, this is another person, and this is the relationship in the middle. We all put something in here. When one stops, the other one overdoes, and then the scale tips and the balance is lost. So this is not your time to act, this is his time to act. This is his time to act. Will he act? Will he be the man that he was born to be? Will he free himself from these past experiences? Will he remove those swords from his back, that heaviness that is time to leave behind and be reborn into the real version of himself and free himself? Will he take on the lesson that you are showing him by being there? Will he make the change? Will he grow? He has the potential to turn from the Knight of Cups into the Emperor that he's supposed to be. He has the potential, good potential, to succeed at it, if he takes the chance, and to reach full completion of becoming this Emperor. He has the potential to change. And the way it happens is if you allow the scales to come back into the middle, which means you have to stop doing everything yourself. Only then he will be reborn. You have to allow him to take responsibility for all the issues that he had in childhood, and you have to step back and allow yourself to stop doing so that he can start. You have to stop whatever you're doing. You have to stop controlling. You have to stop. Yeah, you have to allow to be fair and treat him as if he's already that Emperor, not that not Knight, sorry, a Page of Pentacles, that he's not a child anymore. He has to make this way, this transformation. And the way he will do it is if he works through his issues and you will work through yours. So when you have that knee-jerk reaction again to go forward and control him or tell him what to do or how he's meant to feel, you hold yourself back and you notice, why am I feeling that way? What is inside of me that is causing me to react instead of responding? So what is your responsibility then while he's making this journey? What is your responsibility? What is your actions or no actions, which are still actions? What are you to do while he is going through this? What is your responsibility? Your responsibility is dealing with your own luggage that you are bringing from your own heritage, your own family issues. Your responsibility is to also deal with your childhood. Your responsibility is to open your heart and begin feeling again. Your responsibility is to become playful. Your responsibility is to become a more childlike version of yourself. Your responsibility is basically to drop the responsibility for the both of you, to come back to who you are, to be more playful, more reckless, more trusting. Your responsibility is to remember that change is constant and let go of control. Allow change and natural cycles of life just to be, so that you're no longer holding on so tight to stability. You're a very emotional person, so allowing yourself to feel all these emotions, and maybe you even have some psychic gifts. Maybe some intuition will get heightened, and yeah, you just allow him to take the time to do what he has to do, and you're no longer the man of the family. Basically, you're coming back to the happy, playful part of yourself, and dealing with your own past while he's dealing with his. Okay, I think this is clear. So your responsibility is basically to get out of the way. A few last words from the Oracle. Advice for both of you on the journey of healing these dysfunctional relationships. A few words of advice. What do you need to know? What do you need to pay attention to? What do you need to stop doing? What do you need to do? Advice for the both of you. Okay. If you are not working, you have to start doing something that will allow you to channel your energy into the things that you like, because when you don't do something, you become literally this controlling dictator, and trying and attempting to control all and everything is making you feel unwell, possibly even physically ill. So you have to channel all that energy that you have, not into controlling your partner, but into doing the things that you love. You have to be patient and take the time to do it, whatever it is that is happening between the two of you, the way the relationships are transforming. It is not your place to jump in and start controlling it. You have to allow time for this tapestry of life, for this dynamics of relationships to change on its own by no longer controlling. Put your energy in here. Put your energy in healing yourself. Because also possibly because you haven't been doing much with your time, this energy of dictator, of full-time controlling what's happening in the family is what initially made the relationship so dysfunctional, and you grabbed on too hard, and it's what's making the relationships sick, what's causing more dysfunction, more codependency. And your advice to find new ways, and you will succeed, absolutely. Time and patience and perseverance, and finding things to do so that you're no longer channeling all your energy into the relationships. Okay, I hope this helps. Thank you so much for being here. This was White Raven. Thank you for being with me, and I'm wishing you best of luck.